suspects, you know.
They're in.
What an idiot.
I gotta put the car seat.
Okay, good morning, everybody. It's 8 o'clock in the morning. Thank you for all coming in on a cold winter's day. It is the Village of Ruidoso special meeting, January the 27th. If we could, will you stand and we'll have a moment of silence and then join me in the pledge. Pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation, under God, indivisible, with
liberty and justice for all. I salute the flag of the state of Mexico, the symbol of perfect friendship among the united cultures.
All right. Did I see the chief? Chief, do you have any update on that shooting in Alamogordo? No? Did y'all hear about that?
Yeah, I saw a little.
Yeah, I just a drive-by or something?
17-year-old,
Yeah.
20-year-old. I don't know.
Okay, all right. Roll call, please, ma'am.
Mayor Crawford,
Here.
Councilor Eby.
Here.
Councilor Letterman,
Here,
Councilor Jackson,
Here.
Councilor Corey,
Here.
and Councilor Salas is here also.
Yeah, he stepped out for a phone call. Is that the official clerk seat over there? Okay, this is. Well, yeah, I can see you better.
Is Darren out?
Yes, he's went to dermatology stuff in Las Cruces. But is he online?
He's not.
He's not, okay. Item number 1 is discussion and possible action on adoption of Resolution 2026-07, a resolution amending the fiscal year 2026 budget, quarter ending December 31st, 2025, for certain funds and application to the Local Government Division, LGD, of the New Mexico Department of Finance and Administration, DFA, for the approval thereof. Thank you very much, Judy. I know you worked hard to get that one done and got it in, so.
Good morning. So this will be our second budget adjustment for the fiscal year. This will be budget adjustments from October 1st through December 35th. December 35th. December 31st.
35th, oh Lord.
It's been a long year.
Yeah. No wonder it seemed long.
Yeah, that's right. So the total expenditures increased by $27,996,804. And again, we'll focus our discussion on the resolution report, quarter ending 12/31/25, which should be in your packet. That is the one that goes by fund, by functional category, and gives the reasons for each budget adjustment. As always, if you have any questions on a particular budget adjustment, need additional information, please stop me and we'll move on. So if everybody's there.
And this one, the IFC looked at this yesterday.
Yes, sir. And they recommended to bring it to council. So the first fund is the general fund. Revenues increased $8,758, and it was all due to donations received from the first and second quarters of the fiscal year. Fires donations increased $400, seniors increased $8,238, and Parks and Rec donations increased $120. A lot of times in the budget, if we increase the revenue, you'll see the corresponding amounts increased in expenditures, which is in the next line. General fund expenditures increased $32,212, and that was from the donations, fire $400, seniors $8,238, and Parks and Rec at $120. We also rolled over from fiscal year 25 snow removal at $123,454. Those were the funds that we had received some years ago from the snowstorm Goliath and Ebony that we had been rolling over. We got money from the state, and instead of just putting it back into the coffers, we restricted it to snow removal. So we've been buying plows for new vehicles. We pay contractors to help pick up the snow and stuff. So we're just using the money over for the same purpose. And then we had the TPF match. I know on your there's a little mistake on your sheet. It wasn't for the Colonias match, it was for the TPF match, the 100,000. We had budgeted it in the general fund, and I'm just moving it to transfer it to where we'll actually record the grant down in the general capital improvement fund, which is fund number 320.
What's TPF?
Transportation Program Fund with the
Street
Department of
roads.
Transportation, so it's the $2 million grant, so.
And then transfers out increased 180,659. It was the transfer to the general capital improvement for the DOT match at 100,000 for that grant, and the Colonias match for streets at 80,659. We had to show that we had the match for the Colonias in order to complete the application, so that was just transferring the money in the fund to set it aside and restrict it.
Shoots, he scores. Thank you, Ron. The Colonias.
Yeah.
On SGRT, revenues increased $3,283,937. We had a grant amendment to our Water Trust Board Upper Canyon Diversion Project at $1,157,840. We got the Water Trust Board grant/loan funding for Wingfield Homestead waterline replacement at $1,125,000. The grant is $1,012,500 and the loan is $112,500. We also received another Water Trust Board grant/loan for the Alto Lake Dam spillway. The total funding is $237,500. The grant is $213,750 and the loan is $23,750. We also got another Water Trust Board loan /grant for the Hollywood Well. The funding is $763,597. The grant is $687,237 and the loan is $76,360. Again, with all our Water Trust Board grant loans, at the end of the project, we'll pay off the loan. With SGRT funding, we won't pay it out and stuff. We are just leveraging our funds to get extra grant money to help with the projects and stuff, so. Then the expenditures on SGRT increased by $3,636,104. We had a water conservation plan update at $79,000. The Upper Canyon Diversion Grant Amendment at $1,157,840. The Wingfield Homestead at $1,125,000. Alto Lake Dam Spillway, $237,500. Hollywood Well, $763,597. And we also put in an Alto Plant 3 program upgrade at $140,000. And then the Watershed Base Plan Grant had an amendment at $133,167. The next fund is the Fire Fund. Both transfers in and expenditures increased by $1,502,424, and that was because we issued the NMFA loan to buy the fire trucks. The loan will actually be issued in a debt service fund number 450, and then the money is actually expensed out of 209 because he's putting additional funds from his fire marshal allocation that he's been rolling over to finish the purchase. On LEPF, we are going to get an New Mexico Self-Insurance Fund reimbursement for body cameras and docking stations at $38,021. And then the special library grant got the fiscal year 2026 grants and aid grant at $10,000. The intergovernmental grants got a FEMA grant for the fire department for their honor guard at $17,125. And then DWI got the fiscal year 2025 reversion DW grant at $28,000. So all those funds had increases to both revenues and expenditures. On the GEO bond account, we issued the Series 2025 GEO bonds. This is the account where we actually spend the monies, and so the transfers in increased $1,444,250. On the General Capital Improvement Fund, the revenues increased $1.9 million, and that's for the DOT TPF funds for Cream Meadows and White Mountain. You'll see the transfer coming in from the general fund at $180,659, and that was for the TPF match at $100,000 and the Colonias match for $80,659. And then again, you'll see the expenditures increased by $2,080,659 for the DOT grant at $2 million, and then the Colonias for $80,659. We issued the loan in the NMFA loan for the fire trucks, $1.5 million. And then on the DFA loan, expenditures increased to pay off the DFA loan. Our original loan, we could only use the funds for the South Fork fire, but then the legislature passed another loan program to where we could use it for South Fork and Monsoon. But in order to qualify for the new loan, we had to pay off we had to pay back any monies that we hadn't used on South Fork. So we ended up giving the state back $14,349,996. Now that we'll be eligible for the new funds to use it on both disasters. And
House
that's
Bill 1 that we couldn't ever get to the money,
Yeah.
they changed it, we rolled over to Senate Bill 41?
31.
31.
And Mayor,
So now then we can draw funds.
Mayor and Council, on the House Bill 1, we received the money half of the money up front. We had it in our fund balance. And with this Senate Bill 31, we have to do a reimbursement on that. So, but they said they would make the transaction quick, and we'd be able to send the invoices, then send us the money, so.
Have we started submitting invoices yet, Judy?
We haven't started yet because when we were talking about the payback, they had told us to keep out any monies that we had already had purchase orders on. So that money I'm still currently using, and a lot of the FEMA projects, I believe if it's under $1 million, and we supply the procurement and the proposal from the vendor, if the project's under $1 million, they'll forward us the federal portion of the project amount. So I'm getting money off some of our smaller projects that are tied to South Fork to have seed money to start the project. So as of this point, we haven't started any needs, but I know we did put in an application for, I don't know how much money.
And Mayor and Council, also with the Senate Bill 31, we're finalizing an addendum to the loan agreement of, and I know the governor doesn't like to call it loan, but for the 6 bridges. So I requested $25 million, and hopefully we'll have that up front so we can just be able to move with the bridge projects for the legacy bridges.
It's complicated.
Well, very
And
complicated.
thank you, Ron, because the DFA has to make some rules up and make adjustments. So Ron's been working very closely with those guys on being able to make it possible.
So when did they say we might receive that 25 million?
Mayor Crawford, Councilor Lutterman, we should receive that addendum anytime now. And I have a proposal that, ready to go to take to council for the 6, to start the design on the 6 bridges. So they just had their legal was reviewing it, so should see something fairly soon. But we want to get this agreement with our on-call engineer to get working on the 6 bridges.
So we have to go back and do engineering all over again.
Yeah,
Yes.
but we're looking at a clear span now. They were arguing with this on the box
Right.
culverts.
Yep.
And then with the different flooding events, it's changed. And then second bridge, we just totally disagreed with the design, that last and final design. So yes, we're having to do it again.
Well, I like the span.
Yeah.
It's
And-
amazing it's taken this long,
Oh,
though,
yeah, and-
for them to
Well, we hadn't got
understand
across the
we need
finish
span.
line, so let's
I know.
not hold our breath,
Exactly, so.
But we're getting close.
And that was, Mayor and Council, that was always, in our discussions with Judy, we didn't have the cash flow to be able to do all 6 bridges. Now we have this loan that we were able to just use that money, and they're going to do the reimbursement back with FEMA, so it'll work out great, so.
And DHS, they sent us the approval, about 3 weeks ago?
Yes, yep,
Does all the engineering come out of that 25 million?
yes,
It's part of it.
Yeah.
so.
Okay.
The next fund is the GeoBond Fund. We issued the Series 2025 GeoBonds at $1.5 million. The expenses associated with that issue would be principal $10,000, interest $25,000, and the bond issue cost up $55,750. And then, of course, we transfer out the monies out of the debt service back into the capital project fund number 302. The airport revenues increased $757,988. We adjusted route fees to actual at $8,120. The airport electrical upgrade grant had an amendment at $123,868. Federal part is $118,862, and the state is $5,006. And then we had a master plan upgrade project funding at $626,000, federal $600,000, and the state is $26,000. And then, of course, expenditures increased $820,813. They purchased a golf cart at $12,700, a limo cart at $18,720, some cones at $31,771, and then the electrical upgrade amendment at $125,122. The federal's $118,862, the state $5,006, and our share of that project is $1,254. And then, of course, the master plan upgrade is $632,500, federal $600,000, state $26,000, and our share of that project is $6,500. And then affordable housing revenues and expenses increased by $5,374,500 because we had a DFA grant for affordable housing. And then risk management increased $6,200, and that was for the Christmas party band and the food. Each year, Blue Cross Blue Shield gives us an employee wellness credit, and we've been saving that money and rolling it over to help offset some of the cost of the employee party. So that is the budget adjustment for the second quarter. If you have any questions, I'll try to answer them.
So we did have to pay $6,000 for the comprehensive plan, our portion.
We had a grant for the comprehensive plan, didn't we?
Mayor and council, we had some funding that was rolled over from the prior fiscal years too, to also offset that cost for
Is that where
the,
the 6,000 came from?
for the
For $6,000 for what?
comp
I
plan?
don't know, I'm
For the
sorry.
comp plan?
Maybe it wasn't for the comprehensive.
So the comprehensive plan was budgeted in either 24 or 25 at 400,000, and we just kept on rolling it over.
Okay,
Yep.
okay,
Does that answer your question?
yeah.
What we're saying is that we received grant funding to pay for the comprehensive plan?
No, we paid it out of general fund.
Okay, because that was the statement that was made at one of the meetings. Where did we get the money for this?
Right, and Mayor and council, on the prior one that we did, we received a planning grant from the New Mexico Finance Authority, but on this one here, we were able to encumber those funds.
So arguably, we were saving for it.
Yes, oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we had already set aside monies
Yep.
in a couple years ago, so we just rolled it over.
Okay,
So it didn't cost us anything.
today,
No, correct.
okay. All right, okay. Any other questions?
Mayor, I move approval of adoption of Resolution 2026-07, a resolution amending the fiscal year 2026 budget for certain funds and applications to local government division of the New Mexico Department of Finance and Administration for approval thereof.
Kenny, any final discussion? Roll call, please, ma'am.
Counselor Corey?
Aye.
Counselor Jackson?
Aye.
Counselor Letterman?
Aye.
Counselor Eby?
Thank you.
Mayor and
Right, thank
council,
you
I
very
just
much.
wanted to also we had our audits, the audit was due on the 20th, and Judy and her staff,
Go ahead, Judy. Give it to him.
No, I'm just,
Every time I mentioned audit, she was going like,
no, I just want to recognize Judy and her staff for, they were able to, we got the audit in on time and took a lot of work with the staff assisting on that, but we didn't meet the deadline and it was submitted, thanks to our auditor for always being there for us also. So,
Thanks a
but I just
lot.
want
That was a
to
great job.
recognize Judy for all the work, because it's a lot.
yeah.
Judy, any idea when the state will let it be released?
So we usually don't get it until March or April. We usually don't get it until March or April when it's due in December, so it's probably gonna be April or May.
Okay.
Every time I said it, she was going,
And Mayor and Council, the audit's usually the 15th of December? But since they had the federal shutdown, the clearinghouse where you get for the federal financials, that delayed it, so the deadline was moved to the 20th of January. So that's the first time ever I've seen it ever go past the next calendar year,
okay? We good?
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Great job. Next, we have item number 2, discussion, and we didn't take a vote on it.
Oh, no. we
Roll
did
call,
not.
please, ma'am. Oh, did we?
Yeah, we did.
Best.
We be
Earth
done.
to
You
Lynn,
didn't have to vote.
Earth to Lynn. Item number 2, discussion and possible action on implementation and service agreement with Total Response for Emergency Medical Dispatch, EMD, in the amount of $56,338.20, including Mexico GRT. Good morning, Chief.
Good morning. So the item before you, this is for the emergency medical dispatch software that we've been trying to purchase and implement in dispatch. For the last couple of years, we had it budgeted this year, and we're able to select a vendor for it. Took it to the Consolidated Dispatch Board and received approval, and now it's before you for approval on the purchase of this software. So this is basically the rundown on this, and I know Katie was able to present it last time. When somebody calls 911 and it's a medical emergency, they have a book of questions that they, say you call in and say, I'm having chest pains. Well, there's a specific page they go to that says, well, you should be asking this question, this question, this question. That book, I believe, is probably the last time it was updated, not council, I don't remember if you remember the date. I think it was early 2000s, the last time that book was updated. So, and there's nobody actually that uses that vendor. I think there's one other agency that uses that company in the state. We don't have anybody to teach the dispatchers anymore. It's a very outdated system, is the bottom line. Katie had done a lot of research and found this other company, or this other vendor for the emergency medical dispatch, which basically will integrate into the CAD software that we just purchased last year. We can also expand that to include fire and police. So any of the issues that somebody may call in with, say it's a structure fire, they can actually pull up a prescribed set of questions that they'll ask whoever's calling it in, so that to assist fire department, to include PD response on anything, and of course EMS.
Does this coordinate, Chief, with EMS?
So it doesn't coordinate with them. So it does in a way, because there's a basic standard of questions that you'll ask based on what is given to you when you call. So if they say somebody's vomiting, for nonstop, whatever, there's a basic set of questions and instructions that you'll give that person. So it's generally formed around best medical practice for first responders, or instructions for that.
Okay,
And that took a while that was a lot of discussion
I
from,
can imagine. And they do have all the on-site training and.
So this will include all of the training that goes with it. There's a server that we're going to buy on the back end of it that, talking to Katie, DFA should reimburse us this money for this. And then we're going to turn around and purchase the server, which we already have. We have to purchase a license, but we'll have that coming. This was just the purchase of the software to get it implemented.
Does the court pay for part of this?
does who?
Cord,
Those
City of Ruidoso Downs.
That was the discussion.
Yes.
And that was probably the lengthy portion of that discussion.
Since they don't have the dispatchers now, and I'm like, oh, no, that's not how that goes.
Yep.
But
So
anyway,
it was a unanimous vote with the board, last meeting, so.
Yep. Okay, excellent. Any questions? I'll need to take a motion, please.
Mr. Mayor, in the interest of health and safety and the disuse of leaches, I move to approve implementation and service agreement with a Total Response for Emergency Medical Dispatch in the amount of $56,338.20, including New Mexico GRT.
second,
Okay, I'll have a roll call, please, ma'am.
Counselor Jackson?
Aye.
Counselor Letterman?
Aye.
Counselor Eby?
Aye.
Counselor Corey?
Aye.
All right, thank you, Chief. The disuse of leaches. So that and buggy whips.
Well, he said it was very old, so.
Yeah. Okay, that concludes the agenda for that special meeting. This meeting is adjourned. Now, what time can we go ahead and start? 8:45? Okay, we got a few minutes before we have the other special meeting scheduled. So everybody has a